Agricultural livestock breeding. Livestock breeding. This is the mating of selected animals in a planned manner. Aims of animal breeding. 1. To maintain desirable qualities in animals like increased number of eggs produced in chicken, high number of offsprings born per animal. 2. Produce animals with a high mothering ability, i.e. low temperament and high milk production. 3. Produce highly fertile animals. 4. Produce animals with a high growth rate. 5. Produce animals that can give a lot of products like milk and eggs. 6. To come up with breeds that produce high quality meat, milk and egg. 7. To produce breeds of animals that are resistant to parasites and diseases. 8. Elimination of undesirable qualities in livestock. 9. To produce animals with a high resistance to harsh environmental conditions. 10. To produce animals that can provide products for a long period of time. Terms used in animal breeding. Allele, these are different forms of a gene at a particular locus, e.g. TT. B. Backcross, this is a cross between an animal offspring and one of the parents. C. A breed, this is a large group of animals developed by the efforts of man having a common ancestry and possessing similar morphological, physiological, and economic characteristics. D. Breeding, this is a technique involved in mating selected animals because of their desirable characteristics. E. Chiasma, this is a place of connection between two chromosomes, seen during prophase of meiosis. F. A clone, this is the population of organisms reproduced by asexual reproduction from one individual. G. Crossing over, this is the process of exchange of genetic information between two homologous chromosomes during meiosis. H. Diploid is an individual cell having two complete sets of chromosomes. I. Epistasis, this is where a gene masks the effect of another. The gene which masks is called a epistatic gene. The masked gene is called a hypostatic gene. J. Dominant gene, it's one which can express itself phenotypically in both homozygous and heterozygous states, e.g. a gene for tallness. TT in a garden P. K. Inheritance, it's a mechanism by which characteristics are passed on from parents to offsprings. If a character, agricultural livestock breeding, is 20% heritable, it means that the 20% is determined by the genes, while the 80% depends on the environment. Allehybrid, these are the offsprings resulting from a cross between two parents of different breeder stock. 16. M. Hybrid vigor, heterosis, this is unusual growth and healthiness better performance of organisms resulting from the cross between two different parents or better performance of a hybrid beyond that of parents. N. Inbreeding, this is the mating of closely related animals. O. Locus, this is the physical position of the gene on a chromosome. P. Linkage, this is the tendency of genes located on the same chromosome to be inherited together in a successive generation. Q. Outbreeding, this is the mating of unrelated animals and is sometimes called crossing. R. Pedigree, it's a chart showing the ancestry history of an individual. S. Progeny, these are offsprings resulting from a mating. T. Recessive gene, a gene whose expression is only seen when in a homozygous state only. U. Heterozygous, it's a situation where an organism has two different alleles, e.g. TT. V. Homozygous, it's a situation where an organism has two like alleles, e.g. TT. W. Sex chromosomes, these are chromosomes that determine the sex of organisms, e.g. X and Y chromosomes in animals. Selection. This is a practice of allowing some animals to be parents of future generations, while depriving others of that privilege. Types of selection. There are mainly two types of selections, i.e. natural selection and artificial selection. Natural selection. This is one which always takes place through random mating and it's influenced by natural forces, e.g. the ability of one individual to survive and reproduce in a certain environment. In such a selection, only the fittest animals are able to survive, hence survival of the fittest in the struggle for existence. Artificial selection. This is the type of selection controlled by man and doesn't allow random mating, but mating is based on desired characteristics. Methods used in artificial selection. Individual/mass selection. Agricultural livestock breeding. Collateral relative selection. Progeny tests. Tandem selection. Independent culling. Selection index. Individual selection. 17. This is done basing on the information about the animal's performances, well as the performance of its progeny. It measures the likelihood of a trait being passed on to the next generation. A comparison of animals based on their own individual performances, called the performance test, is used for traits of high heritability such as growth rate, fertility, mothering ability, and feed conversion efficiency. Pedigree selection. Here animals are selected basing on the performance of their ancestors. This method is used for traits that can't be measured in life, e.g., quality of beef. This method is not highly recommended because it can be easily manipulated by leaders and farm managers. Collateral relative selection. This is selection done basing on performance records of close relatives like brothers, sisters, half-brothers, etc. The transmission of traits characteristics with known importance between relatives can be measured using subtests. The accuracy of subtesting depends on family size, heritability of a character, i.e., the ability of a trait to be transmitted from one generation to another, intrafamily genetic relationships, progeny tests. This is where selection is made basing on the performance of an animal's agricultural livestock breeding. It's easy to know practically the productive qualities for both the bull and the cow. It's more suitable for traits which are exposed after slaughter, such as the carcass quality. Disadvantages. It's a very expensive method of selection because it involves a lot of consideration before reaching the final judgment. It needs a lot of time, hence it's time wasting. Tandem selection. This where a desired trait is selected among many and improved before going for another independent culling. 18. The breeder lays down a minimum standard for several traits, and any animal that does not measure up to standard is culled. Selection index. Here, numerical values are given to potential parents basing on the characters, and one with the highest value selected. That is considered in selecting animals for breeding. 1. The adaptability of the animal to environmental conditions. 2. Availability of the breed within the environment. 3. Availability of market for animal products for the animal being bred. 4. Animal temperament should be low for easy handling. 5. Animal resistance to pests and diseases should be high. 6. Animal body conformity should confirm the breed and type. 7. History of success of the breed in the environment. 8. Feed conversion ratio of the breed, i.e., should have a high ability of converting feeds into products like milk, meat, and eggs. 9. Growth rate of the breed. 10. Availability of quality feeds for the animals. 11. Fertility of the animal being considered. 12. Productivity of the animal in terms of milk, meat, and eggs. Breeding methods. This refers to those methods which deal with how the breeds that have been selected as parents for the next generation are mated. Breeding methods are classified into two broad groups, namely close breeding, upbreeding/crossbreeding. Close breeding. This is the mating of related animals, e.g., a daughter and a father, a son and a mother, brother and a sister, grandparents and grand-offspring. Close breeding involves inbreeding and line breeding and breeding. Agricultural livestock breeding. This is that mating of closely related animals like brother and sister, son and mother, etc. Advantages of inbreeding. It helps to maintain a high relationship with the desirable ancestor. It increases the degree of uniformity in the herd. The less desirable recessive genes are easily brought to light and therefore culled. The good qualities of a particular breed can be easily maintained. Disadvantages. It requires a lot of skill in making planned mating and rigid selection. It leads to a reduction in survival chances of offsprings. 19. Leads to a reduction in the fertility of animals. The offsprings got are usually of poor size. Line breeding. This can be defined as the mating of animals of the same breed or distant relatives, e.g., cousin, grandson, and grandmother. It's actually practiced in order to conserve the good traits of a certain outstanding sire or dam. Outbreeding/outcrossing. This is the mating of unrelated animals. Sometimes such animals can be of the same breed but show no close relationship in the first 4 generations. Outbreeding results in the production of offsprings that are of better performance than the parents, i.e., hybrid vigor. Crossing can be done between breeds, species, and lines. Examples of crosses between species are male lion and female tiger results in a liger. Male donkey and female zebra results in an Asbra. Male horse and female zebra results in a zebroid. Male horse and female donkey results in a mule. Bull and female buffalo results in a beefalo. Grading up. This is a system whereby pure exotic size are mate with the local animals to improve the characteristics of local animals, e.g., local female, X 100% pure sire/male, Fawn 50% pure female X 100% pure sire/male, F4 75% pure female X 100% pure sire/male, F3 87% pure female X 100% pure sire/male, F4 93.7% pure female X 100% pure male. Breeding efficiency. Agricultural livestock breeding. This is the ability with which the herd is able to reproduce and multiply. It covers the entire period of breeding, i.e., mating, conception, gestation, and Calving. It measures the following. 1. Calving interval. This is the period between calving. Normally it is about 12 minus 13 months. In order to get a good calving interval, a rest period of 60 days should be given for the animal. 2. Age of heifer at first calving, which should be 24 months. A higher age indicates a low breeding efficiency. 3. Services per conception. The ideal ratio should be 1.6 minus 1.8 and is measured by number of services. Number of animals that conceive in a herd. 20. 4. Percentage of cows that calve within a year. A high percentage indicates a high breeding efficiency. 5. Number of days a cow is pregnant in a year. The more the days, the higher the breeding efficiency. 6. The percentage of non-returns. Non-returns arise when the service is done and pregnancy does not occur. A low percentage of non indicates a high breeding efficiency and vice versa. Maintaining a high breeding efficiency. 1. Good feeding. Breeding animals should be fed well but excessive fattening should be avoided as it may reduce the fertility. 2. Observing the rest period. Animals should be given a rest period of about 60 days to allow the uterus to return to normal. 3. Insemination at the right time. In case of a high, the cow should be inseminated towards the middle and late part of heat period as ovulation occurs 14 hours after the beginning of estrus. 4. Observation of animals on heat. This should be done as early as possible, more especially where a eye is being used to avoid the animal missing service. 5. Veterinary attention. Animals that fail to conceive should be identified and examined to find out the causes and treated if possible. 6. Pregnancy diagnosis. Animals should be diagnosed to find out whether agricultural livestock breeding. 9. Maintain a good ratio of bulls to females to avoid overworking the bulls, which lowers fertility. 10. Use correct techniques of artificial insemination to ensure successful fertilization, hence high breeding efficiency. 11. Females with abnormal discharges should be examined and treated early enough. 12. Know a complete breeding history of the animals before buying it into the farm. Mating animals. Animals can be mated using two main methods, i.e., natural service and artificial insemination. Natural service. This is where a male mates with the female directly. It is the most common method of service in Uganda. Advantages of natural service. 1. Less costly since collection and processing of semen is not involved. 2. Best methods serving animals with silent heat. 21. 3. Conception rate is higher than artificial insemination. 4. It's a quick method of service. 5. Does not require special skills and training. Disadvantages. 1. Reproductive diseases can be easily spread. 2. It's difficult to practice controlled breeding under this method. 3. Heavy bulls can easily injure weak females. 4. Waste semen on one female that would otherwise serve 100 female. 5. Breeding records are difficult to keep. Artificial insemination. It's a method of breeding in which semen is obtained from the male and introduced into the female reproductive tract by means of an instrument. Agriculture livestock breeding. It's easy to control venereal diseases, e.g. contagious abortion and trichomoniasis in a herd since semen used is first examined. Poor breeds or bulls can be easily eliminated from the breeding program, giving room for better size. Semen from lame bulls and those that are dead but of good quality can be easily used in the breeding program. Injury to small and weak females by heavy bulls can be controlled using artificial insemination. It reduces the cost and the risk of keeping a bull on the farm since bulls are usually aggressive. Semen from good size can be easily made available to farmers in rural areas through artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is economical since one ejaculation can serve over 100 cows after dilution. Problems of artificial insemination. A. Silent heat. Some female animals do not show signs of heat, hence it's very difficult to carry out on such animals. The method of communal grazing in Uganda does not easily allow since poor bulls from different herds can mount animals. There is a danger of disease outbreak, more especially if contaminated semen are used. 22. Special skills are required to carry out which may be lacking among the farmers. Semen requires special equipment and conditions for storage which may not be easily available to the rural farmers. Poor roads in rural areas make the transportation of semen to such places difficult and expensive. Methods of carrying out AI. There are two main methods of AI, rectovaginal method and speculum method. Rectovaginal method. This is where the rectum and vaginal are manipulated in order to have successful insemination. The hand is pushed in the rectum to remove dung and locate the cervix at the end of the vagina. Procedure 1. Restrain the animal in a crush to restrict its movement during the operation. 2. Wash your hands with clean water and soap to reduce infection. Agricultural livestock breeding. 4. Thaw the semen in a basin of water at room temperature to reactivate the sperms. 5. Sterilize all the equipment to be used. 6. Insert the semen straw in the inseminating syringe. 7. Lift the animal's tail and insert one of the hands into the rectum to remove dung. 8. Clean the anus and vulva using clean water and soap. 9. Insert the hand in the rectum to locate the cervix in the reproductive system. 10. Insert the inseminating syringe through the vagina and gently direct it to the cervix. 11. Release the semen to the cervix. 12. Massage the cervix after releasing semen so that it can be sucked into the uterus. 13. Gently remove the inseminating syringe from the vagina and the hand from the rectum. 14. Release the animal from the crush and monitor it for 21 days to ensure that it is conceived. Speculum method. This is where special equipment called a speculum is used in locating the cervix by inserting it in the vagina. Procedure 1. Restrain the animal on heat in a crush. 2. Wash your hands using clean water and soap and dry it with a hand towel. 3. Sterilize all the equipment to be used in inseminating. 4. Thaw the semen in a basin of water at room temperature. 5. Insert the semen straw in the inseminating syringe. 6. Wash the vulva with clean water and soap. 7. Wear clean gloves. 8. Insert the speculum into the vagina to locate the cervix. 9. Insert the inseminating syringe into the speculum and release the semen.